Welcome to the Old Man Orange Podcast. I'm Spencer Scott Holmes.
And I'm Ryan Dunigan.
We gotta do a podcast again in person. I always want to say live, but there's nothing live except for unless you're the Laura or the other people that go through this room.
Yeah, but it's one of those things where it's kind of like, it's not even like, I think for us, it's like, oh, we gotta do it live, we gotta do it like in person, but it's just like, okay, we don't give a shit. But I think it's more than anything, unless maybe you don't have to worry about editing it together and like
You don't have to have Skype problems, don't have to have latency issues every once in a while. So it's like, yay, makes it easy, and it's going to sound good.
Yeah, the last one I think was so
yeah, it was so staticky at moments. So it's like, that's just.
We're aware, folks. We're aware of it.
It's okay. As long as other people kind of have those same issues, that makes me always feel like, okay, other people have Skype issues, good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We're not the only group that's like, I can't figure out the Skype.
I'm still just like, just like dumb when it comes to technological stuff like that. I should probably get my own kind of like program or something to program. This is boring as fuck. What am I doing? All right, yeah. So
it seems like every intro nowadays is Ryan has a new tech problem but doesn't want to talk about it on the air.
Well, it's like one of those things. I just realized how fucking boring that is. You know what I mean? Just hear like it just gotta sound like, I can't figure out Twitter that these kids are using, and my back hurts whenever I get up to play a video game these days. I just don't play them no more, you know.
You know, actually, Rubber Onion, they had a educational episode on all about back problem and wrist problems and all those like problems that like generally animators have, and it's like, because I myself have had, all kinds of things, wrist problems, my back hurts, all kinds of different things that you try to correct with like physical exercise or moving or whatnot. But did you ever get that problem when you sit down for a couple hours?
Yeah, I do. I just feel like I have to kind of go. For me, it's like this. I get this. There's no real happy middle ground with me. I'll be working on something for a while, and like I've been in my room working on this thing for like God knows how long. I should probably get up and walk around. But at that point, though, the part of town I live in, it's not that it's bad. I've just walked down that street so many times. It's just boring, and I feel like I'm still just. I feel like I'm stalling. When I stop to do that. But at the same time, I know it's not good to sit in the same place for too long. So, but I'm sure just gotta change your routine somehow,
Well, realistically, that's my favorite part about San Francisco. For when I lived down here, like I think back to it, the thing that I like the most about there, I love being able to step out your front door and be like, I'm in town, I can go anywhere I want because it's only 5 miles in any direction. And I don't know why it breaks into like some fucking, you're not in New York, but like in New York you can't really do that. You could be like, hey, quit fucking singing! There's a San Francisco, you fuck!
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I forgot, in San Francisco nobody cares about you except for themselves.
That's true, that's very true.
But it is like, that's the number one thing I like so much about San Francisco, is you could just walk right out and you're there. It wasn't like you walk out your front door and go, oh, I got a 25-minute drive to get anywhere important or something like that. It was like, nope, you were right there already. And you get to go walk, you get some exercise, even though the air is all fucking dirty. Yeah, that's the kind of the downfall. But
you live there, you're like living in the Nob Hill area. I live in the Richmond district.
So you gotta walk through even farther to get
I gotta
places.
walk even further to get anywhere. And the Richmond district's a nice area, but not a lot going on. And I'm right on
houses after houses after houses after houses.
And I'm right on Geary Boulevard. So, and Geary Boulevard, it's not like it's a bad street or anything, but there's nothing pretty about Geary. It's not like a pretty looking street like some of the other ones down that area. So it's just kind of like a walk that's just like, fuck, I should probably just go back and start drawing some shit again.
Yeah.
Only thing I got down there is the cards and comic shop, and I'm like, I'm trying to kill my wallet for a minute and just
ease the pain.
Just numb it. It's gonna be back. It always does, but
No, that's always kind of
like, a great Capullo Batman. I'll get that.
But there is something to be said. It's like, it's still the idea. It's like, I want to live in an area where, in a sense, I don't have to drive. I feel like driving's a burden, and I really look forward. In about 10 years in the future, I think we'll be at the point where we don't really have to drive anymore. We'll just get in your robot. And you'll be like your Johnny Cab from Total Recall. And you'll be like, hey, Johnny Cab, take me to Sacramento. And it's like, okay, sir, you have 2.5 hours to kill. What are you going to do? I'm like, well, I'm going to sit here and fucking draw, so you get to driving.
We're getting closer and closer. I think Google and Tesla are already working on self-driving cars.
Well, they already have self-driving cars, and they're testing out taxi cabs, I want to say like in Maryland or something like that. So if you hail a cab there, it could just be a robot one. Like,
could just be
Johnny
Johnny
Cab that comes up to you.
I don't know. It's one of those things that is cool, but I like the idea of not having to drive for a while. But at the same time, I really feel like this is where we kind of start to put our trust way too much in machines, which leads to like, this Terminator type shit. I don't honestly believe we'll reach Terminator level, but it is one of those things of just like putting that much trust in something else that's gonna need a fucking download a patch at some point.
See, this is what I love about it. Like, because I'm all for the robot thing. I love this. And I like the idea of the robot car because just, let's say you're taking a 3-hour trip. Let's say you're going from Yosemite to San Francisco. You have to go there. And instead, yeah, you could drive. And let's just say you're by yourself. You don't have anybody else to talk to, okay? You're literally there and you're like, what am I going to do? I'm either going to listen to a podcast or I'm going to listen to some tunes or something like that, but I got to drive there. And especially if let's say if you have to drive there all the time. You could commute a couple times a week. Now, if you got your robot car, that's 3 hours that you could, one, either sleep, so you don't have to worry so much about it when you get home. 2, you could work on those 3 hours so you can get tons of stuff fucking done. Or, I mean, you could even, if you wanted to kick back and catch up on some TV shows, comic books, movies, video games, the idea of that when you're in this car, because I picture cars in the future, they'll be like almost like the middle section of a limousine. So you'll just have 2 seats that face each other, and you'll probably just have it hooked up to your phone. So you're like, bloop, 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 tap my GPS in, boom, take me, car.
I can honestly see it being that point, though, where what happens, I'm sure they'll come up with laws for it and insurance policies, but I can honestly see it happening. What if the thing glitches out, it's on autopilot, and crashes into pedestrian?
Well, yeah, whose fault is it? Is it the robot or is it you?
Are you just going to roll that car?
It's like roll that car into like the fucking jury room. You're like, I'm representing my car. I clearly was not driving. I was asleep at not the wheel, but at the the control desk. Because right now we're at the point where we got cars that self-drive, but you kind of got to be there to sort of watch it. It's like kind of like letting your teenager drive, I guess. You don't want to just fall asleep in the back and hopefully assume that everything's gonna be all right.
What, the car's just gonna go to Hot Topic or something?
You wake up, you're like, no, did you use my credit card, car?
We always stop at Sonic's every day.
This gets me fat. Doesn't get me fat. Well, fuck you, car.
It like runs on. It's not even on oil.
It runs on like nacho cheese. I'm like, fucking.
Do you want the fucking the robot car is always showing up like robot car? I said be home by 10. It's 10:45. Whatever, man. Like, is that a bumper piercing? No.
So we're in like the teenage years of like automatic driving cars. We got to get past the point where they become adults and like they're like, okay, now I like driving the speed limit and being a good a good driver, safe. It doesn't matter about all the wild things anymore. I can take my time. But the way I look at it, it's like in 10, 15 years, it'll be the safest thing to be on the freeway because everybody will be in their fucking robot cars except for that one poor person who's trying to like keep his old jalopy running. But just including that guy, the robots will all be in sync with each other, so they'll know where everything is. Nobody's gonna be cutting in and out of lanes and all this kind of stuff. They'll just be like, we are going to our destination now. We have the human.
I wonder if they will reach that point though, where it's gonna have that come back around where. Remember driving? South Park. Remember driving? Oh, I remember driving. It's going to be that point where just like, I don't think there's ever going to entirely stop driving because I think there's some things that are too important. Like we're not going to put that in the hands of a robot. At least we're not for another 2 generations maybe. Mm-hmm. But I can see them possibly just having it be kind of like having a comeback around like, you know what? DMV's kind of like reopening, like driving classes and all that now.
It's been 40 years since I last drove. I don't know.
Or you might have a whole generation of people who don't drive because either they use Lyft or Uber and they live in a certain area where it's just like, what's the point? I can just use that. Or they have the robot cars. You know what I mean? So
it's getting super close to like not actually having to have a driver's license. Mm-hmm. Now, of course, you're always going to need it when you're in like backcountry roads, at least for a while. At some point, it'll be able to manage that too. But that's about the only time I feel like you're going to really need a driver's license. Like if you're in the city, you could literally get by almost nowadays without ever having to drive again. You could get by in New York, you can get by in San Francisco, Los Angeles, all those major cities. You could, do it and it'd be totally fine. But soon, I just think the idea of just having your car I just think of all the productive time. I guess the older I get, I think more
every day
and more.
Is a day late wasted.
Exactly. So productivity is like my most important thing. And I think also being like animation. We were kind of talking about this earlier. Like the reason why we stopped doing live action is that it became such a hassle just to get people together, organized, everything like that. Where animations, it's like, no, you need another actor. You don't have to sit there and hopefully wonder if they're going to show up, or if they show up, they're going to go like, I only got an hour. It's going to take an hour to light it. Well, try to do it in 45 minutes, and you got 50. You can't shoot it in 15 minutes. Those
Find
problems,
a way,
yeah, those problems kind of go away because you're like, you know what? I need a new actor. Draw it. Yeah, I like that one right there. Guess what? Who wants to voice him? You know, that's it.
No voice actors? I'll voice it. Just change the pitch in the audio settings.
Yeah. I don't know how many times I've played a female character before, so it's okay. It's all possible with animation.
I noticed it's one of those things. If it's kind of like the Matt Stone, Trey Parker thing, like in South Park. If it's like an important female character,
like a mom or something like that.
Mom or Wendy or something like that, they'll go out of their way and they'll get a female voice actress. If it's just some side character, it's one of them voicing it.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and the thing too in South Park, for the majority of the 20 years that show's been on, there's pretty much just Matt, Trey, and then there's just a female one. And the first female lady committed suicide by season 2, but then they got another one, and that lady literally does all the female characters. So there's realistically 3, and then there's just a couple other bonus ones like Token, who's one of the animators on there. He does that voice, and maybe a couple others. But that's about it. And that's really the joy of animation, is just how simple it is. So this coming back around to the time, I just always think of how can I become more productive? What are the things that you can skip in life that take up your time? And driving is the one I always look at. It's like, that takes up, that can easily take an hour plus out of the day, every single fucking day. And yeah, of course, you can listen to podcasts. You can get some other things kind of done in that process. But at the same time, just think of how much more you could get. Think of listening to a podcast in your Johnny Cab while drawing.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I'm at that point where it's like, God, I only have people who are over 30 be like, fuck you, shut the fuck up. But I'm like 3 months and change of my 20s left.
Yeah, so you get to this point where you're like, I really need it. Every single year I get closer to that, it's almost like, fuck, the time is going away. I need to gain as much time as possible. That's why I've almost come to the point nowadays, I do not mind paying for a lot of stuff if it saves me time.
I'm at that point. There used to be the time I used to walk all the way to my bank. Now I'm just like, fuck it, $3 ATM fee.
Yeah, because you realize that the walk to the bank is going to cost you more in your time than that $3 fee does.
They're like, why are you doing that? I'm fucking dying, that's why.
Well, because I always judge, this is my judge it. I go, at bare minimum, every hour of your life is worth $10, in a sense. So let's say, a perfect example, like repairing a car. Okay, say you want to do it yourself because you think you're going to save money. Let's just say maybe you're going to do an oil change, something that's kind of simple and things like that. Well, even if that takes you, let's say it takes you a little over an hour of your time just to get everything out, get it all together, jack the car up, take all the parts off, drain the oil, put the new oil in, so on, and then maybe it costs you $25 in oil and a couple other things. So next thing you know, you've spent almost 2 hours of your own time, so that's at least $20, and $25 on the oil. So you're at $45 now. If it costs you only $40 to take it into the shop and have the guy do it, and he has all the stuff and the gear ready to go, and he can knock it out in a half an hour, if not less, you technically save more money by having him do it than trying to do it yourself and think you save money. You know what I mean?
Money-saving tactics or time-saving tactics with Spencer Scott Holmes.
Well, it's just one of those ones I think about all the
time.
I get you. Animation really makes me go, oh, fuck, I gotta really... Because that's the only thing that animation really costs you is time. Mm-hmm. That, technically, a live-action movie, if everybody shows up, and no matter what, they're just there, all your crew's there, all your actors are there, so much faster. You can get things accomplished extremely quickly. Mm. The animation, on the other hand, you don't need any of those people, which makes it nice, but now you have a lot of time that's going to be put into creating all those people and all that jobs that could be filled by a person. So I start thinking about the time issues, and then I start looking at other things, and I start watching other people who almost will try to save a buck by doing things themselves, when realistically they've spent probably 3 times more, and they wasted their time in the process when they could have got so much more done, but also having somebody else do it.
Well, regarding the whole thing with I guess depends on what you want to do, where you want to go. If you're the kind of guy who just enjoys spending time in the garage, listening to classic rock and changing your oil, that makes sense for that person.
That's different. If that's your thing, but I'm just thinking if you're just trying to save time,
you'll throw down the extra $10.
Yeah. If you enjoy working in the garage, that is totally fine because that's your passion. But if you're just trying to do it just to save money, then it's not. You really are wasting your time and your money. Because I always feel in your day, every hour, excluding the hours you sleep, is pretty much worth about $10 bare minimum. It could be worth more. Maybe it could be $15, $20 to you, give or take. That's how time kind of goes, and that's how every single time thing is.
I will say, this might be getting a little too deep, a little too personal for a minute, but I remember there was a time when, like, you yourself actually... I remember we were talking about, because the way our process works, this is just us jerking ourselves off for 20 minutes about our process, how we do the animation. But basically the way a process works is we both write the episode of whatever it is we're working on. Usually, Spencer's been doing a lot of solo stuff lately, but usually when it comes down to it, with the major stuff like Spunkles or Drunk Batman, we both write it. I used to storyboard it, but then we just got detailed enough in the writing. Now it's at the point where I'll do most of the drawings and then Spencer animates it. I remember when we first started, I said, what if we learned animation? You're like, it's too late in life to learn animation. I'm just going to rely on actors and hope for the best. Now here you are, like, maybe not even 10 years later, maybe 7 years, and just like, oh, you know what? Fuck actors. They stopped showing up. I'm done. We're fucking done. Yeah, let's turn to cartoons.
Well, yeah, you get to the point, too, where... And, there was that thing where it's like, man, I kind of do wish I'd, like, worked on drawings and animation earlier in life. But at the same time, I kind of go, well, I have all this, like, all the rest of the movie knowledge built up just from doing live action stuff that made that once you just kind of figured out the animation part, it was like, oh, okay, well, everything else makes sense because I already know everything about, like, the film part. So now I just implement that right back into the animation, and I'm good to go.
You ever think that maybe, like, just thinking, like, this goes back, like, at least 100 episodes back, and I'm not sure if people would remember it, but, we had an offer because we did the live action Drunk Batman stuff, and we had this one guy that was obsessed with your legs. The guy had a Robin leg fetish.
Yeah, it was creepy.
And he actually wanted to pay us to go down to San Jose. That's happening where he was, and film a movie directed by him. He already sent us in a couple of fan scripts that were meant to be animated. He says, "I want to film a live action movie starring you guys." And it's just like one of those things, and it was like
it was creepy.
He also like he stopped commenting. I'm not sure if he just like lost interest in us or what, but or maybe he saw that we responded to him and just like okay, whatever. But he at some point on one of the Drunk Batman cartoons, he posted like, "Have you guys seen these?" And then he posted like a link in the comments. It's like Adventures of the Pantsless Robin or whatever, and I'm just like. Okay, I know I'm not going to like it, but fuck, let's see where this goes. I click on it, and it's literally a dude dressed like a Robin. This guy's probably well in his like late 20s, and he puts his legs up on the screen, and he's like basically shaving his legs, taking care of his legs, like, powdering them, all that, and then just like, I'm waiting for it. I'm waiting for it to happen. Where's the hook? Listen, the phone rings. Oh, don't worry, Batman, I'll be right there. I saw one of them. I saw there was about 4 more. One more of them, I just kind of skimmed through, just like, does something happen? No, just a dude dressed as Robin, cleaning his legs, taking care of his legs. Okay. All right, well, there's part of my soul I'm never getting back.
Yeah, there's just some weird stuff you kind of get there.
And it's one of those things, it's like, it's not even like...
Who knows, because who knows, this guy, you could have went down to his house, maybe he just lived in a mansion, and he was very socially awkward, and things like that. He's like, I can pay you guys $20,000 to do my weird-ass, like, Batman movie, each!
Yeah.
And, maybe it would have been a good deal. Or maybe he lived in some ghetto section of San Jose, and he's gonna be like, okay, now we're gonna shoot it down in my basement.
There's a single light bulb swinging back and forth, like, flickering on and off. There's like a bloody chair. Like, what's that? Don't worry about it. It looks like just like a background from the Brubs.
Exactly. Just like, okay, what are we gonna do? Just all of a sudden the door fucking locks. At the top, he's like, don't worry, there's cameras down there already. You'll be able to figure it out. I'll drop the script out. Learn it. Then we'll shoot it.
Dance. What? Dance! Like lights going brighter whenever he yells. It's like, no, they're so bright! All of a sudden, like, like we're there for multiple days. Like, it's dinner time. Just like a burrito in like tinfoil just drops through a slot, just on the ground.
Sometimes he's like,
you gotta share that.
Sometimes he doesn't microwave it too. He's like, I want to see how long it takes him to finally be able to eat it. It's just frozen solid.
Before they eat each other.
What will they eat first, the frozen burrito or themselves? It's like all this humongous experiment.
The fat one is staring at his friend a lot lately.
See, that's the thing.
I guess all truth be told, it would be kind of like the cartoons. All the heavy lifting is on you because you're the one in the Robin outfit. I'm the one dressed like Batman. You're the reason he likes the show.
Yeah, he probably could care less if Batman was even in it.
What you gonna do? Well, I just want to set Batman on fire while Robin shaves his legs. Like, okay, that seems like a fair trade.
Do I get set on fire? No. Oh, okay.
Fuck, I wanted a way out of this.
Yeah, no, there's just weird things like that, and it's that kind of... I don't even know how... I don't even know what to say to some of those things. You just kind of stop, because there's that point where... It's that thing where someone is offering you money to create something, but then you kind of go, whoa, wait a second, is this what I want to do?
I was offered to, I did some commission stuff before, and I did, some, sexy drawings of some characters or whatever. I've done that. But then I got, some weird, one time someone... I couldn't do it. It was just a moral thing. Someone wanted me to draw, I guess there's a big fan basis of, I know people love Disney, but there's a big fan basis of, Lion King, sexualized versions of Lion King characters of OC. You know what I mean? You know, Sonic the Hedgehog has a big, here's my original Sonic the Hedgehog character. I guess Lion King kind of has a similar thing. And someone wanted me to do one of their two Lion King characters fucking. And I'm like, I appreciate you thought of me. But I don't, no, I'm sorry.
We're going to give you $1,000 for it. Done and done.
Here's the thing, I didn't even ask the price because I didn't want to do it. If I heard the price, I might have considered it.
You know what your parents be like, oh, so what have you been working on in San Francisco? Yeah. Well, they got me drawing naked lion pictures.
Yeah, lipstick out and all.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I had some people, I one time did a commission for somebody, and it was just I haven't seen it posted anywhere. I think it was just for their own private collection. But basically, just someone asked me to do a sexy drawing of Harley Quinn, topless, and then someone asked me to do one of just their own original character naked or whatever. I'm like, okay, I'll do that, whatever. But beyond that, though, it's kind of
they were just could you do how much would it cost for you to draw your drunk Batman characters fucking each other? It's whoa, there's one rule there. You have broken the biblical rule of drunk Batman. I could probably choke down probably drawing a dick, but maybe poor choice of words. I could probably, there's some stuff I'm I can be flexible on that. Maybe not drunk Batman exactly. There's some things though, just I don't know. I don't want... Everything leaves a digital fingerprint. I don't want fucking drawn lion cubs fucking each other and then having a link years later look what so and so drew. I don't know. You just don't want to be no, when you go to run for president, they start pulling those pictures up.
Yeah, when I run for president, yeah.
They're back in the day, that's what he used to do.
Yeah. Which is what I don't know. I mean, I'm not even trying to be overly judgmental or anything. There's some things I just look, that's your thing, and that's fine. I'm not going to try and judge you about it, but there's no way I can be part of that drawing something like that,
Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
Sometimes
I think it's well, it depends how much they're commissioning for it.
Maybe, depending on... That's one of the... That's true, because I
if someone was hey, could you draw me 10 sexy Lion King pictures? I'll pay you $5,000 for it. You'd be like, oh well, fuck.
Yeah, I probably been my moral fiber for that.
I will become the master of sexy Lion King by the time you're done for that price.
That's the reason I didn't even ask the price, because I didn't want to know.
Because probably I'll give you $25. Fuck that. That's not worth my time.
The other one I did it for a little bit. It wasn't colored. It was just it was just
for $25. Just do a stick figure version of it. There you go. That's a $25.
Just hair sticking out with a big fat cock, jerking off on the other one.
There you go. There's your $25 commission.
No, but the other one was just it was $20 for line work. So I was okay, that's doable. It's not a big deal. But
yeah, it's but once again, that comes back around.
And look for naked Harley Quinn. It's I'll be lost in the shuffle,
Yeah, and that's true too. It's but there is that sort of thing that almost comes back around to when people are trying to commission you for these jobs. They kind of forget that once again, you only have so much time in the day, and your bare minimum $10 is what your price is. And I feel $10, that's your sit down. I'm not going to do shit, but this cost me $10 in my life. Is to sit on the couch. So now you want me to work. well, now you got to add an extra like $20+ on that at least, give or take what it is.
I mean, I don't really. People hardly reach out to me for like doing commission work for them. It was a couple. They liked some of the stuff I post on Instagram, or they liked some of the stuff we did for Drunk Batman or whatever. And they said, "Oh, well, can you do this? You seem like you know how to draw. Not good, but draw."
Draw. Why is it in quotes?
Yeah. And that right there, it's like most of the time people just ask for like, if they do ask, it's not like I got them lining up the door or nothing. But if they do ask, they want it for free. And I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, dude, but whenever I've done it for free, I might get like a, hey, this looks cool. Like, thanks to hashtag Grit5 or like @Grit5 for making this. But it's usually just kind of like they either don't credit me or they don't even thank me. So it's just like, yeah, I'm fucking dumb. Like there's this one guy, this one motherfucker who he saw this picture I posted on Instagram of like this space redneck guy, and he thought that was really cool. And he says like, hey, I like your artwork. Can you actually do some like pictures of like, can you do like this photo album? It's not photo, this cover for my rap album. He's a guy in England. And we became friends on Facebook, and we were like, okay, so what do you want? I was talking back and forth to him, like, we can do this. And he was very vague about it. He says, like, just make it look kind of like this picture right here. And it was like an Action Bronson, like, cover. And I was like, that's pretty vague, and has a lot of stuff, but I'll see what I can do. So I did something that was kind of a cross between Mad Max and Jet Grind Radio, that kind of style. Mm-hmm. Even sent him earlier versions of some of the characters in the line work. He says, oh, it looks good. And then, like, as it comes out, like, here's a finished product. What do you think? Never heard back from him. A month later, comes out. I see he posts like a picture someone took and just put a fucking Photoshop filter on it. Here, my new album's out. You download it. Da da da. I'm just like, motherfucker, are you serious?
No, it comes to a point where, like, you know, early on, I feel like, in like kind of like your art career, you feel like, hey, if I do a couple of these free things, it's gonna lead to, you know, maybe it'll lead to more and more work like that. And it's like, no, that is never the fucking case. The only person I feel like you ever do super maybe free stuff for is like your best friends. Mm-hmm. And if they're not in your best friends category or something like that, then it's like, no. Mm-hmm. And even still, that can even be an if you went to if they asked you for like a lot. But it is that point where it's like, no, it's like, one, you pay me up front for like half of it at least. And two, I'm not giving you the finished result until like maybe you give me the rest of it. I'll show you like a snippet of it, but that's it. Because you just can't trust people out there. It's just, and I know people feel that they can use artists because they're like, artists, they're probably not that smart anyways. All they know is drawing. Yeah. I'll just be able to manipulate.
You take that pencil out of their hand, they're fucking confused. They don't know where to go. They don't know how the world works.
They're lost in life.
Why do you think they always sit at their computer or at a piece of paper?
Yeah.
They don't understand anything else. No, well, my thing is, I'm not even trying to sound like, oh, I'm so above that or anything. My thing is, I don't even think people actually try to be dicks. I think it's more of just like they're just like, I really need some help with this thing, and they don't want to make it awkward and say they don't want to use that, or they don't have the money, so they almost just try and pass it off, and you know what I mean?
Which is worse, almost, than saying something.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not defending it by any means, but I almost feel like people, more often than not, are just like, they don't realize it. All these little, like, shitty quirks that I think people have that, like, irritate the fuck out of us, whether it be this commission stuff we're talking about, or anything else in life, like showing up to a restaurant 10 minutes before they close.
Yeah.
Like, anything else like that. I don't think it's people trying to be rude. I think it's people they just don't understand. They just don't know that, you know?
That's true. And this guy right here, he was probably like, it was almost like he was using you, like, in a sense, like, you thought that, like, hey, it's like, almost like you're on a date or something. You're like, oh, this person actually really likes me and everything like that. And then next thing you know, you realize that he's got, like, 15 others lined up and everything. He's like, oh, yeah, I chose Betsy over here instead.
Betsy knows how to work Photoshop like a pro.
And I think that's probably what he did. He probably asked, like, 15 other people. He probably asked, like, 30 people, and 10 people got back to him. Mm-hmm. And then he just picked his favorite out of there. But it's at the same time, it's like, I don't know, people have that attitude too. They're like, oh, well, you do art, so you probably just love doing this. And they don't realize it's like, no, it's still fucking work. It's like saying to the guy who's like a contractor, like, well, you must just love building houses. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I'm not going to fucking do it for free. And I'm not going to come, or the plumber, he's not going to come and fix your house for free because he loves fucking plumbing. You know
it's not like there's no perk where you got to go down like a magical pipe and save a princess at the end.
Yeah, exactly. It's you know what I mean? Like, and I don't think some people think that. They think that, like, with artists, they almost take it like, oh, well, they're not really working. It's like they're children playing. And it's like, no, it's still fucking work. You're not going to ask your dentist to come by and fix your teeth for free. He's not going to fucking do that. Just like you can't ask an artist, hey, just draw me shit for free. Why would he do that? What is the point of it?
I mean, there are times I would, maybe in like a context of like, I like this person's a friend of mine, or maybe in the context of, I do that. I had this say, we've talked about this when like David Rousey was on, but maybe at the hopes of like, okay, this might open some doors. Like this might, this person will give me a shout out and think of me again, and maybe we'll become friends, and they could probably help me out something later down the line. But that's never happened. And I mean, who knows? Maybe it will happen down the line. But whenever I jumped on a joint project with some other company, I say it like, what, like Disney? I don't mean that. I mean like, just some other YouTuber or something like that. It never fucking goes anywhere. So, and not that it can't go anywhere. It's just I think people aren't always the most well organized, and they don't really know the whole step-by-step process.
Well, and I think
there's more than one. It's just just the general consensus of how to go about it. Sorry, I cut you off.
This is the biggest skill that I noticed that like is probably missing from a lot of people who are maybe into art or creative projects. The number one skill, I think the best skill you can possibly have, it is not how good you draw, how well of a movie you make, even how good you write it. It's can you go from start to finish and totally complete it. Because that's the biggest thing I notice where people always drop out at. Everybody has the fucking high hopes of like, I got a script and I know what I'm going to do and I'm going to make this project. But can they finish it? And most people can't finish it. That's why whenever people come up to me and they're like, oh my god, like, I got this script, you are going to fucking love it. You need this material, right? You fucking do animation or you make videos, you need material. And it's like, dude, fucking writing the script is the easiest part of making anything. That part, now I'm not saying it doesn't take skill, don't get me wrong, but it is one of those ones like, it is literally,
you do the rest.
It's one of those ones like, it is the least amount of work is making a script. Like, yeah, and it's fun, and it mostly only takes, it can only take a handful of days, give or take, on how long it is. It's making it. It's like, okay, yeah, you got a script, and even, like, let's just say, yeah, you got a pretty good script, but are you gonna get fucking actors? Are you gonna draw all this shit? Are you gonna, like, film all this stuff? Are you gonna, what are you gonna do, Can you make this into what it is? And that's most of the part where they go, oh, no, I thought you were gonna do that. It's like, yeah, that's what I thought. Exactly. You know what I mean? Like, that's the part that like almost holds people back.
That's the part that just annoys you the most, I can tell.
It does. Because I think as I see it a lot, or it's kind of like, you'll see people too, it's like they can draw like a couple drawings, but they couldn't sit down and draw an entire comic book. You know what I mean? Like, that would be too much for them. And that's the start to finish process. Like, okay, yeah, you can draw a couple cool, maybe action shots of a character, but can you make that character go from start to finish?
I kind of was looking the other day, because I mostly as far as my creative stuff goes, it's always been the side thing I'm working on, which I'm not going to, because I have this bad habit of like, I'm working on this thing, and then like takes forever to come out. Like when we first started the podcast, I had that comic book Grit, and I got 2 issues in, and those issues took a while to come out. And didn't really have it wasn't like, oh, it was huge or anything, but a few people liked it, and a few people commented on the podcast, and that was pretty cool. But it was one of those things where like, you know what, I'm going to make this into a cartoon, and I realized, fuck, this is taking a long time, and it's not that it's not doable, it's just, it's fucking forever. It's
taking up, it's how much time do you have in your day to get something done.
Exactly, and I even got a couple of like, like moments and animations and test project, like, changing facial expressions, and even a little bit of a scene done, but it was just taking way too long, and plus at the end of the day, it's just like, well, how much do you got time for? So now I'm at that point where like, I notice the more I talk about doing something, the less it gets done. So I almost try to just avoid talking about it until it's about to come out.
Yeah, because I don't like to give hype to anything that like, might not come out. Because for me, the downfall is like, I start getting like multiple ideas going for different projects and things like that. And then at the end of the day, you can go like, well, how many of these can you really do?
Yeah.
Like we'll have like, our main animation going, like, we got Wallaby going right now. And we want to get another Drunk Batman coming out too, and that's kind of like working its way. I did a little like short one for the Rever Onion battle. That was kind of like, okay, get the feel of Drunk Batman once again. But then after that, it's kind of like, okay, I always have all these other ideas. I got different T-shirt ideas. I got different like other kind of like website and blog ideas and other things. And then I got freelance work, and then I got video editing of some sort. So there's all these things, but then at the end of the day, you're like, fuck, some of these things got to get minused out. There's no possible way I'm going to be able to do all of them, at all. And I almost feel like you've got to pick like one main project, one side project, and one sort of like hobby project.
I don't do nearly.
And that's about as much as I can get done, and I really don't have enough time for anything else.
And I don't do nearly as much freelance stuff as you do. My stuff is because you go to like Alance.com and all that kind
Well,
of
it's
stuff.
called
Elance?
Well, it used to be called Elance. They changed it to Upwork about a year ago or so.
Okay.
So I use that one, but then recently I've just been getting like local. Nicely, is like I just been getting freelance jobs that they just came to me. It was like I didn't have to go out and even get them. They just like showed up.
That's good to know. My stuff's always been a lot more informal, kind of like through YouTube or Instagram or something like that. But yeah, just the occasional thing like that.
Yeah, I've gotten those too, like through Twitter and things like that. Which is like, oh, that's kind of cool.
I gotta start hopping on that, trying to get more of that done. I'm not gonna lie. I know we just been on this whole thing. You did good. You wrote it, but can you do this? I'm like, I've mostly been fucking writing lately, but still working on Wallaby when you can.
Yeah, because well, writing is one of those ones. Like I love writing. If all you had to do was writing, fuck, that is like the greatest part of making something because you could kind of do whatever you want. Because nothing's there to really tell you what you can or can't do yet. It's when you start having to either animate it or shoot it that you go, oh, we can't fucking shoot that. Or we can't animate that. Who the hell are we going to get to play that? Where are we going to get that tank from? You know, all those things start to happen.
Yeah.
You know, but when you write it, you can write anything. That's why I always kind of go, like, really is the ultimate, like, single-person artist. Somebody who just writes books, fucking, that's, like, you know, in a sense, I won't say like, easy and, like, I know it's good because somebody writes novels like, yeah, it's not fucking easy to write 800 pages. You know, they come...
And they do this weird arm wiggle thing that you just do while they say it, too.
Yeah, but what I mean by, like, easy is the fact you don't gotta deal with anybody except for your fucking editor. And nowadays, too, it's like, I can't think about it, you know, you go, like, on Kindle or something like that, there's so many people that just kind of write just little books, like 70-something page books, they sell them for, like, 99 cents, and it's not saying that I'm not saying anything bad against them, but they're just, like, it's the perfect way. It's like, dude, who can't really do that? Like, that right there is a great creative way just to get whatever you like out there and kind of sell it, and you could just constantly do that. And almost some people, they do the thing, too, where, like, I have this many blog posts, you know, now I'm going to comprise these, put these in, boom, there's my, you know, my little book. Let's say it's like a workout book or something like that. Boom, I put all my blog ideas up on there, and now I can sell it as a Kindle book for $4.99.
Holy shit, it's just one of those things, like, we literally, Twitter, like, shows are made off Twitter accounts.
Yeah.
So, I think movies have been made off, like, articles, or, like, there's,
That's
like,
what Top Gun was made off of.
Top Gun was made off an article?
Yeah.
There was, alright.
Jerry Bruckheimer found, he's like, oh, what the fuck is this? It was like, yeah, the new pilots of, you know, whatever, Southern California.
I was even thinking that. That's a good example, but no, just there was like some.
And then Jerry Bruckheimer went to a writer's room. He's like, threw a newspaper at their face. Fucking write that Top Gun shit. Jerry out.
There's some. I'm sure it happened just like that too. I'm sure that there's like some like romantic comedy. Like there was a self-help article that got made into a movie a little bit ago. I don't remember what it was called.
See, it's like
so,
it doesn't take much, but I think I look at that and I go, that is the ultimate like easiest creative outlook other than podcasting is like the first and foremost. Like all you gotta do is have a topic or a buddy, and next thing you know, you're good to go. But you know, writing stuff though, I mean, who can't sit down and write stuff? I mean, at the most, all you need is maybe an editor, and an editor could just be a best friend who's good with English.
That 50 Shades of Grey book series, that was literally somebody who wrote like Twilight fan fiction. I'm like, oh, this is pretty popular. You know, you could actually just like change some names around, change some settings around, and like make it the exact same thing.
Oh yeah, and you know, this goes back to like the time management thing. Okay, take the amount of time that's going to take to fucking animate something. Like I feel like if I'm lucky in a day, I can get about 6 to maybe 10 seconds done of stuff. You know, sometimes less. Sometimes I only get 3 seconds. Depends how much stuff I have to draw beforehand. And you know, if I have to draw from scratch, I might only get 3 seconds. If I already have some stuff that I can kind of pre-use, I might get 6 to 10 plus. But with, you know, writing, like if you sat down for 8 hours, you know, and you broke it up, you know, in the day, you could write so much fucking shit. I mean, you could have, you know, 10 pages of a book plus in one day. I mean, you could technically, in a month, you could write a full-on book. Technically, you could write one in a weekend. Look at fucking Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. That's a fucking weekend. Now, I don't know how much longer it took to, like, edit it, but the whole point is, you could write in 1 week, especially when you got that drive going. Like, I know when we've wrote scripts before, when you get it going, like, boom, next thing you know, you've pumped out 120 pages in, like, all of, like, 4 or 5 days. And then you go back and you start editing it, and you do the second draft, and you start working it, and that takes a little bit more time. But, you know, the core writing that you got, it's already done. Now you just spend the next, you know, couple weeks just really, like, tailoring it up. And then you got your thing good to go. And I think that's what makes writing just kind of like, it's a cool way of just being super simple. And anybody can do it, you know what I mean? You don't... You know, drawing, you know, people always tell me that, like, oh, you know, if I could draw good, you know, I would do what you were doing. I was like, I couldn't fucking draw good forever. I don't even know if I could still draw good. I could draw good enough.
I'm good enough. That's
and that's how I feel. It's like, the thing is, and people always, it's that kind of thing too. It's like, all you gotta do is sit down and practice. That's what it takes. But the thing about writing is like, we already have been writing pretty much all our lives, unless you're like, I dropped out of school at 4th grade. Unless you're that guy. In general, you're probably at least somewhat decent at writing. And the thing is, the more you sit down and do it, the better you're gonna get anyways. And all you really need is that good friend who happens to be good at English. That could be your editor in a sense.
Well, well, it's crazy because there's this time where it's just like, I got published. Now it's like, you just go on like submit this shit to like iBooks
or Amazon, and you're good to go.
It's gonna go on a Kindle. Then maybe it might take a little extra effort to get a paper copy of it, but you get your shit out there on that. I've considered doing that. The only thing is, I mean, not to suck my own dick here, but I feel like I'm pretty good at writing dialogue, but I don't feel I'm that great at writing narration.
Well, yeah,
so that's the thing that stops me from trying to write an actual novel. Because whenever I write, just like I don't know, I read more comics than I do regular books. So
I need the pictures.
I need more pictures of my books. No, so it's like one of those things where I feel like if I'm gonna write a novel, I actually need to read a lot more novels. I mean, I'll pick up a Chuck Palahniuk book every so often, or I'll read, like a memoir by like a musician I like, but I don't feel like I read.
Well, that's nonfiction though. Now,
you're still reading though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm just saying I don't think I read nearly enough like books to actually like write a novel.
Yeah, well, yeah. Now a novel's kind of different. I think, like personally, me myself, I really don't actually like novels. There's a handful that I'll read here and there, but the reason I don't like novels, it's the descriptive words, which I know that's mostly the main reason why people like novels. I don't like the descriptive words. I think that's why I like comics for, like, in a sense, fiction, because there's no descriptive words, because the descriptive words are in the fucking pictures. What I like is I like nonfiction books because they get right to the point. I could see myself writing one of those. Mm-hmm. And once again, as I look at it just as like, because you start comparing all your different arts together, and you get to a point where you're like, what takes the longest? What can you get out the fastest? Animation is one of those ones. Okay, yeah, you got complete 100% control. You can do whatever the fuck you want, but it definitely does take the longest. Where you could actually say, writing a book, you got once again complete control. You can do whatever the fuck you want, but it actually doesn't take nearly as long as that animation does.
I guess as long as you're not lifting exact words, copyright stuff's not a problem.
Yeah,
you could use a song, and you can use technically you can use a song that would be expensive as fuck. Like, while Sympathy for the Devil plays on the radio. You know what I mean? Nobody could afford that in real life.
Yeah. Or you can say, that Devil song plays by those Stone Boys, and then you can totally get away from anything that they...
I don't know, unless they actually have a copyright on the words.
Well, they have the weird thing where if you like, write down, like, you're going to put the actual lyrics in there. Then you got that weird kind of, like, you got to pay somebody for that. You got to call up Bob Dylan and be like, hey, Bob, I'm using your lyrics. He's like, well, fuck you, buddy.
I'm coming over there right now. We're going to have a
come kick you in your grit dick.
No,
you read Grit? Well, yeah, fucking piece of shit, but I read both of them. Oh, well, that's still pretty cool, though.
Thanks.
Can I put that on the back of the book? Like Bob Dylan says, it's a piece of shit. I read both of them.
Yeah, you can write it in your own fucking blood when I get over there. Okay, I'll see you then, dude. You won't believe this. Bob Dylan's on his way. He's gonna kick the fuck out of me.
But he says I can use his quote on the back of the book.
That's awesome. Hey, Bob, what's up?
Fucking dick. Think you're so fucking special, huh? Want to put my fucking lyrics in your goddamn Grit book?
Man,
He's like, well, I'm writing a Grit novel now. I was like, yeah, of course you read a fucking Grit novel. Fucking piece of shit. Can't fucking draw it anymore, huh? Who do you think you are?
God, Bob Dylan is way more aggressive than I assumed he would be.
And he's old, too, and he's just bitter and everything like that. He's like, yeah, because the only two good bands in the world is me and John Lennon, and one of them's fucking dead. I bet you can guess who. Well, yeah, John Lennon.
Yeah, that's fucking right. I'm glad you narrowed that down.
Good. Glad you didn't say Bob fucking Dylan.
Bob Dylan's never gonna die.
Never gonna die! Why is he all singing like that now? Oh, I don't know.
I'm Bob Dylan. Who the fuck I want?
Fucking what? Just like flies out.
he's like, go Dylan copter. Just
like his like fucking acoustic guitar just turns into like a helicopter, almost like the Penguins or something like that, and escapes.
God, he's really got to land on his motif. He keeps on changing it up, but okay. But no, and actually in my case would be Glenn Danzig, because I took some Misfits. I took actually the ringtone of like one of the villains was the
Kennedy song.
Kennedy song. So I would have to.
I'd
be worried about Glenn Danzig just like I'm just scrolling every single thing online to see if any of my songs are mentioned. Just like, motherfucker. Because he's actually very, very protective of his lyrics, I know.
You know, speaking of Glenn Danzig, you know what's something really cool is coming up, like, right around this time this podcast comes out. Now, of course, it's on the East Coast. Why would it be over there?
A Misfits reunion with Glenn Danzig?
With Glenn Danzig, like, they haven't been together in, like, 30 years.
You know what? I don't know enough about Danzig, but I could honestly see him just doing one show, angry the whole time, mean mugging the whole time, like, thank you, and leaving. Never again. Who knows? Maybe they'd be cool, though. Maybe it could be really cool with them.
You know what I wish they would do? Now, I know this might sound weird to some people, but I wish that they would get back together and just re-record all their old songs and have... Because the downfall of those Misfits albums with Danzig is they have just, like, the most shittiest fucking, like... It's equivalent of, like, when somebody back in the day... This doesn't happen anymore. But when they bring one of those, like, tape recorder things, they'd be like, oh, here's my band. We recorded it last night. You check out the tape demo.
There is some weird quality, weird charm, I think, to that. I mean, I would like to hear another version of it, the more clear version. But it's like, you know, it's like that album, it really does sound like they're recording in their basement.
With, like, one microphone, like, in the corner, like, on, like, a tape. Not even a 4-track. Not even a 4-track. Like, literally, like a 1 or 2-track.
And they're all playing together at the same time and all that.
Yeah.
And then, like, it's like also... I got, like, the Legacy edition of Iggy and the Stooges' Raw Power.
Well, because they have that kind of problem, too, on some of those early albums.
And that the album itself sounds fine, but it has a live album that came with it as well. And that is just like... It says the name of the place they're playing at. I don't remember where it is exactly, but it's definitely, like, it sounds like some punk club. Iggy's getting people's faces in the front row. He's just, like, you know, just all strung out, going up to some guy, like, what the fuck you say? You get up here, man. I'll kick your little fucking kick your little cracker fucking teeth in. Just like... You're white, dude. You know, but it's one of those things like, it's like, smash your daddy's pretty little face. It's like, if there is some weird grungy, and it's kind of like, it doesn't sound that clear. And I know that sounds probably pretentious, but there is some weird little charm about that.
Well, I'm not saying there's not a charm to it, but it's just one of those ones like...
You want to fucking hear it.
I'd love to hear just sound a little bit decent, you know what I mean? Just a little bit better, because that's the only kind of downfalls. You listen to those, and it's just like... You know, you can take what's going on, but that's almost where, like, oh, good, some other band, like, did a cover of this Misfits song? Oh, good, at least it's in clarity.
Yeah.
You know, so that would be kind of cool, and I always kind of hope that they would do that at some point. Not even Danzig himself. It's like, you didn't just do covers of any of your other songs on there? No!
I imagine wherever the rights are, I mean, I don't really know if he owns the rights to the original Misfits stuff or the stuff he wrote. I know he's very protective of his own rights to his music. I'm not sure if something happened with Misfits to make him do that with his solo stuff. But I just imagine, like, if anybody, there's a file cabinet. It's got all the stuff, all the copyright stuff regarding Danzig's work. Anybody takes 3 steps to it, he comes running with a baseball bat, like, no! No!
Like, okay. Just, like, starts slamming it down on the cabinet.
Yeah, like, okay. They back away. Glenn's gone. He comes back. They start to walk back. He comes running back.
You just hear...
Okay. He's still coming for us. No,
but still, other than that though, that'd be a sweet concert if you were in fucking New York or New Jersey, wherever the hell it's at. It's supposed to be at like one of their old clubs that they used to play at, one of those kind of neat shows. Sort of like what Guns N' Roses did when they got back together. Like, we're gonna play at the place that we got famous at.
I heard that show, I didn't see that because that already happened, but the Guns N' Roses reunion concert, I heard that like they weren't making eye contact the whole time. They're just like,
There's just these walls just separating them.
They're like in their own little cubicles.
Like booths, yeah.
What, it looks like fucking Hollywood Square.
Just like they're all up there, just like, oh, this is fucking a weird concert. Like, we made it so we can't see each other.
Earlier, talking about stuff, they just be like, you don't almost need an editor anymore. There seems to be no, like, weird... There doesn't seem to be as much of a guard as there used to be to getting your stuff out there. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, the guard part's all kind of gone. Like, I at least say for, like, an editor just to kind of make sure your stuff's still kept up. But I even see, you know, I mean, no matter what, there's always going to be some, like, little mistake in a book, which you always kind of go, if I saw that on my first read, why did nobody else see that? Now, as the author, we all know that you can read your shit over 100 times and not see a bunch of, like, grammar mistakes and things like that. You hand it to one person who's never read in their entire life and they see it right off the bat, but...
Yeah. One of the reasons I bring this up is, I feel kind of dumb because I don't know the name of the thing. I can't seem to
The
find
thing
it.
for Fantastic Four?
Not Fantastic Four. Yeah, Michael Chick Douglas and then a British guy.
There we go.
But there's this thing that was on PlayStation. It was on the PlayStation Network, and usually we like to come on here and talk about things that we like. But there is this one thing on the PlayStation, on their. I wish if somebody knows what I'm talking about, please get back to me.
Because apparently we couldn't find it on PlayStation, Xbox, Wii U, anything.
I just have to share this. I saw that. Like, basically, it looks almost kind of like it's photoshopped and then drawn like very poorly in some kind of just digital paint like program. Like, it was like some weird turn-based game. I think the concept of the game was you're actually you're like dying. It's kind of like it was sort of like Crank. You're drugged with something, and you have X amount of hours to live, and it was like some weird little turn-based game. It was on PlayStation Network. Now, part of me is like, fuck this game, because it looks so bad. It just looked like almost kind of like, we're not even trying. Here's that. If anybody knows what I'm talking about, please let me know, because I was trying to find this thing to show Spencer, because it was literally one of those things like, is even as mad as it made me, I shouldn't, because I'm all for like self-expression, saying whatever you want. But something about this game, just the way it looked, just rubbed me the wrong way. And I was like, fuck your self-expression. It's just something I would never really say or feel. But at the same time, it was a little bit of this sense of like, shit, we could do that.
Me personally, I love seeing shitty stuff because what it tells me is, hey, it is totally possible. Like, I was in the comic book store the other day. I don't remember what book this was, but they're like, oh, dude, check out this new, like, graphic novel we got. It looks really fucking cool. And I was like, oh, okay, sure thing. So, I grab that graphic novel and I look at it and I go, oh my god, the artwork in it's fucking horrible. I love this. It's like, because to me, I look at this, I go, dude, when the artwork's worse than my own, it's like, oh, perfect.
Yeah, that is one of those things, like, I think sometimes you could have something, like, there's this comic book series I just started reading called, I think, City in the Desert.
Mm-hmm.
And it's this indie comic, and it's really cool. It's kind of like this fantasy Arabian Nights kind of series. And it's all basically done in line work and a little bit of shading.
Mm-hmm.
It's cool, and it doesn't look bad. It's just simple as shit. You know what I mean? It's just kind of like, they know how to use the simplicity right. And I think that's the biggest difference. Knowing how to make it look very simple, but at the same time being able to tell and have everything be distinguishable.
Yeah. Well, that's how this one was. This one was still engaging and it looked cool and everything like that. It was just, like, the drawing just wasn't really that impressive. But that almost made it kind of neat in itself. It's, in a sense, I think it's why I always gravitated so much towards, like, Scott Pilgrim and everything Brian Lee O'Malley does, is because the artwork in itself, it isn't really, like, necessarily, like, good, but I don't mean that, like, in a bad way. Because the way that it is, it's so unique that that's what makes it cool. Though it is just really kind of, like, simple-shaped characters, that in itself is cooler. Because, to me, the one thing I always get kind of bored at in comic books is I always call it, like, generic comic book art. And it almost feels like it's just a copycat of, like, Jim Lee, but without having, like, the exact, like, Jim Lee, like, big traits. And, they use it for most comic books, you go pick up a Marvel or a DC book, that's probably the main artwork you're going to get. Not bad whatsoever, but it doesn't feel unique. It doesn't feel like I'm picking up something where I'm like, oh my god, there's a creator right there. It's the kind of artwork that you a lot of times just get in, like, let's just say you pick up an Aquaman book. And you go, okay, everything looks good, everything's in perspective, everything looks perfect. Where's just that little bit of extra, like...
It's kind of
where's that, like, Matt Fraction Hawkeye with what's-his-face drawn?
No, not Rafi Albuquerque. I really like him, though.
God, but, like that. Like, that book stands out because you look at it, and it's simple artwork, but it's like, dude, this is something different. Same thing with Brian Lee O'Malley. Same thing with Babs Tarr. Like, it's that uniqueness, and maybe it's not the most perfect artwork, but that almost makes it better.
I feel like it's a lot of kind of, like... I'm not trying to talk shit on him because he's a DC veteran, but like a Dan Jurgens kind of art style. Like,
yeah,
kind of back it looks good, but like I think you have too many people who are trying to rip off like that kind of art style, and it just kind of runs together after a while.
Or it's like, you look at any old Marvel comics, like they want everybody to kind of draw the same. That's why you look at the Frank Miller stuff. You're like, fuck, Frank Miller drew this Daredevil comic, and I'm talking about like the really early ones before he was even writing them. You're like.
Looks nothing like his usual stuff.
Yeah, it just looks like anybody's Daredevil comic.
It's like DC let him like, you can do whatever you want. Then he's just like, it was weird. Dark Knight Returns. When I first read that, I'm like, I like the story. I don't like the artwork. As time went on, though, I really grew to like that.
Yeah, and then you start
a
to really
lot.
love that artwork.
There's something, I can't say what happened, but something happened to me where I really dug that artwork after a while. It's Dark Knight Strikes Again, where there's a couple panels and a couple images, like, that's really good. And the rest is like, I don't know what the fuck is going on. I'm really glad there's narration here.
And you know, and here's the thing. That's kind of how I felt when I first read The Dark Knight. Maybe that's why like they want the comic book art to be like that generic comic book art, because when you first pick up a comic book, I guess you're expecting sort of like this like Hollywood quality. Mm-hmm. But when you get farther and farther into it, you're like, no, I want the gritty, weird looking shit that looks like very creative. And that's because that's almost how I buy books nowadays. Like if I see a book and I flip through, I'm like, I like the artwork. I'll buy it. What's the story about? I don't give a fuck. I like the artwork.
Well, it's usually a writer is the main selling point for me, but I really like it. It's like one of those things like, whenever they take a artist off that I really like, I immediately get kind of like... it's weird. How do I put this? The writer is the main selling point to me, but I get more apprehensive when they suddenly change the artist on me. I can't say how that works exactly. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You know, weirdly enough, too, I've actually gotten to the point where I almost will say I probably slightly follow the artist almost more than I'd follow the writer. Now, I still stick with the writer, too. And that's still a big point. I mean, I guess if you have a bad book and, like, cool drawings, then that's not going to be the same. But, you know, it's like one of those ones where, like, sometimes an artist goes, like, I'm almost more going to gravitate towards that book than almost maybe where, like...
At least you got a book full of cool artwork.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get you.
You know, it's kind of weird, but yeah, that's Lance going to end up selling me on it, you know. It's kind of like right now, it's like, oh, I got Scott Snyder, but he's not with Greg Capullo. That seems weird. It's like they had a breakup or something. It's like, we got a fucking divorce. It's like, oh, I gotta accept some.
Scott gets the kids on the weekends.
I gotta accept some new writer now,
Actually,
or some new not writer, but some new artist.
Actually, I think
Greg. Even though it's what's his name? It's John Romita Jr. So.
Oh, he's on Batman.
He's
now?
on All Star Batman.
Oh shit. Well, no, I heard the way All Star.
Do that, or he does the covers. I'm not too sure.
Well, I think the way All Star. I'm gonna wait for the trade paperback. I think the way All Star Batman comes out is it's Scott Snyder writing, but every issue he's got a really beloved artist on there.
Oh, maybe that is how that one's
So
going.
when I
only got the first 2 issues of it so far, and I haven't read them, but.
So when I first heard All Star Batman and Robin, I'm like, not All Star Batman, All Star Batman. I'm like, is this a continuation of the Frank Miller series that like he did with Jim Lee that was short lived? But no, it's just basically it's another story. It's just getting beloved artists on each issue. Whether it's a continual story, I don't know. But
yeah, I'm not too sure. I haven't actually cracked it open yet, nor of anything.
I'd love to get a Two-Face story in there. It's one of those things now.
This is the second issue's Two-Face.
That's good. Does it seem like its own? Each one's its own little like single story.
I haven't read them yet.
Haven't read them yet. Well, the thing is, I noticed now. We're wrong. Batman's still one of my favorite characters. Or it still is my favorite character, just in general fiction. But when it comes to his stories now, it almost seems kind of like, not always, but always seems like Joker always has to be the main villain. Everybody else is a supporting villain. That's how it almost feels now, And like, unless you got like Court of Owls or Bloom, which are new characters, and Riddler was there for a minute, but it always seems to be kind of like
back to Joker.
And don't get me wrong, Snyder is like, I think in recent years he's one of the best writers as just Joker, one of the best Joker writers. Mm-hmm. But I'm at that point where I am tired of seeing Joker always be the head guy. I'd like to see like Two-Face or Penguin be the lead villain.
Or Black Mask, even like be ballsy, try something different.
Well, that's why I was so excited for Origins to find out that Black Mask is just a pawn.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
You know, one thing I have to say about the Origins, the only thing that bothers me, they have that new Batman Arkham kind of like HD I don't know what the fuck remastered version on PS4 and Xbox One. The only downfall is like, why don't they just fucking throw fucking Origins on that and make a complete collection?
They don't have Origins on there?
Nope, it's just 1 and 2.
1 and 2? I think they're almost... Origins is sort of like the redheaded stepchild they're trying to pretend like isn't there.
Or realistically what they should do, because like the whole point is when you get a collection, I feel it's like so you can get the collection, not just like a partial collection. You know what I mean? It's sort of that thing where they should also throw on there, even though I know the game wasn't nearly as loved, but like would be perfect for the collection one, is throw on that PSP/DS side-scroller Batman one they had too, and just have the full-on, complete rape edition of Batman Arkham, so that on your PS4 you can literally have all the games, or on your Xbox One, you got Arkham 1, 2, the Origins, and the
Blackgate game.
Yeah, Blackgate one, along with, obviously the third, or fifth one, or whatever you want to call it.
You played the Blackgate game. You had that. Was that one any fun?
It was. It was fun. You know, I will
Okay,
say...
did you see the kid gloves since it was a handheld?
No. It was just like, you know, regular one. But...
Wait, it played like a regular Arkham? Was it a side
Well, it was still it was like 2.5D.
Was it kind of like a sort of like a Castlevania style game?
Somewhat. It played like the latest Castlevania one for DS. And I'll say this, realistically, I really don't like 2.5D games. I really don't like them. You know, I played Castlevania Mirror of Fate. I played, you know, the Batman Blackgate one. I have like the Shinobi one on 3DS. There's some ones on like Xbox that were a little bit kind of cooler, like Shadow Complex or something like that. But I don't know what it is. Like 2.5D, I guess what I'll say is Mario works in it, but a lot of other things, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's it might be just on the handheld. I think it's a little too complicated to look at a handheld screen and have 3D graphics and 2.5D like gameplay. Because you look and you go, okay, do I have to jump there or there? I can't really tell what the fuck's going on. You know, on a screen, it probably would be better. And I bet you if you play Batman Blackgate on the screen, the experience might be nicer, even though I don't think you can play it on there. Yeah. Well, you could probably plug your PS Vita in or something like that. But I don't know what it is. Like, that style, I rather would just have regular 2D. Like, just give me old-fashioned 2D artwork. That would actually look smoother and better than the 2.5D stuff.
What were the? This is kind of off, sort of the same topic. Were the cutscenes just kind of little stills with audio over it, or did they actually have?
Yeah, they were like half-assed animated, like almost
motion
like
comic stuff.
Yeah, like one step above a motion comic.
Still Kevin Conroy.
Yeah, I think it was still Kevin Conroy in there and everything like that. It's still a cool game. Like, I'm, you know, because that game came out the same day as Origins, and I remember it was like Bat Frenzy. Like, I bought that one and Origins at the same time. I was like, let's spend $100+ on Batman today.
They like to do that every so often. Like, I remember when.
And I was the only person I think that bought the Blackgate one.
I think you were. I remember when Origins. Not Origins. What am I saying? When the original Star Wars trilogy came out, Battlefront came out the same day. Like, make a day out of it.
Yeah.
To be like, you know, just give George Lucas over $100. You know, because originally you couldn't buy the original trilogy separately. You had to buy one giant brick. You know, just one brick. And then the game, which is already like another $60, which is $60.
So it's like 60 on 60. So with tax and everything, you're at like $135.
Something like that, yeah. Which I paid it. And then I remember when Revenge of the Sith came out. Revenge of the Sith came out. So did Battlefront 2.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yep.
Oh, this is a big fucking deal.
It was a big fucking deal, and yeah, I'm sorry, I'm getting too nostalgic here, thinking about what Battlefront could have been.
Exactly. But going back to Batman, though, it's just one of those ones, like, just think how much cooler that set would be if you just threw in Origins. Like, Blackgate 1, if they don't throw that on there, I'm fine with that. But that's almost kind of the cool thing of having the set. It's sort of like what made having Metal Gear Solid, the HD collection. Mm-hmm. Like, not only do you get 2 and 3, that's badass. But the fact that you get Peace Walker, so let's just say 1, if you don't have a PSP or if you never picked it up, or 2 or 3, it's like the best way you can play it. That's cool, you know what I mean? And they did that with the Castlevania one, too. I think before Lords of Shadow 2 came out, you could get Lords of Shadow 1 with all the DLC and the Mirror of Fate one for DS, like on your PS3 or Xbox 360. I'm like, well, that's kind of cool. Gives you a reason to get it. Let's just say if for some reason, for the person who has everything, there's almost still a slight reason to still buy that. Yeah. And even myself, it's like, okay, yeah, I got all the Batman games, of course, but if you would have put that...
Changing discs, though. Ugh!
I know. There's something to be said about not having to change discs and having it all in one collection.
I don't know, my Xbox broke, so now the only one I have really is the Arkham Knight. So for me, I guess I was considering that, but we'll see what happens.
Or who knows, maybe they'll do the thing later on, they're like, well, guess what? We'll put Origins and Blackgate on disc.
I realize what I've been doing has been like, I've just been saying like, oh, this new thing came out. Oh, I might look into that. That's becoming my, never getting to it.
My problem is I do the thing where it's like, I buy it, but then I never play it.
See, you're just skipping a step then.
I know. I'm to the point where it's like, sometimes I go, why do you even buy this? Why do you buy? You know you'll never have time to play this game. Why do you even buy an RPG? That is like the stupidest thing to do, but you know you want it.
Speaking of which, how's BioShock Infinity?
Never played it.
Okay.
I bought that game like a year and a half ago. See, I only paid $5 though for it. In my theory, when I say if you spend $5 or less on a video game, you literally don't have to play it to make it worthwhile.
That's less than like an hour of your life right there.
Well, because I look at it this way. You know,
I'm going back to your old dynamic of it.
Oh yeah, because back in the day, I used to say that the way you could get like total value out of a game is like for every hour you get, it's almost like worth $1. Or no,
Every hour is worth $10. You think you said?
no, I want to say a little less.
Yeah, it's in the same episode right here. I thought you said like every like. I thought,
Oh, yeah, I got you. You mean for that thing? That's what you're saying. Yeah, for $10. So yeah, by that standard, it's only worth a half an hour of my life for that sense. And I almost feel video game wise, if I spend under $10, if I only played a game even for like a half an hour, I really technically got my use out of it. I look at it like an arcade game. An arcade game to play like all of 5 minutes, you'll drop a couple bucks sometimes. So by that standard, yeah. But it is amazing. Like, I'll just end up buying games. A lot of times, when you see them on sale for, like, something like I saw Sunset Overdrive. It was $6 brand new. I'm like, well, fuck yeah, I'll take that. Will you ever play it? Probably not. But for $6, I ain't passing that shit up.
Seems kind of... I never played that game, but it seems kind of like...
It looked like a cool game, but I know that it's like...
It seems like 90s. Member!
Oh, it is totally that.
If for those who don't get that, just watch the new South Parks.
But it is also to the point... I look at that game, it's like, it's an open world game, and mostly open world's always like the biggest, like, you won't have time to play this game. And that's kind of why I'm like...
Sometimes it's like open world games are always like... I appreciate it, but at the same time, just like, it's not filled with enough stuff. Like Metal Gear Solid 5. It's a fun game. There's not enough stuff in that to really make it open world.
Yeah, it should have just been a linear game.
A lot of stretches of nothing. And it is fun just going and fucking with soldiers and taking them out one by one and doing, evil shit like that. That's fun to do. Mm-hmm. But it's also just it's just, there's not enough going on in that game to make it open world. Just long stretches of a fucking desert before you get somewhere.
Well, I kind of thought about it. I'm like, you know what? Grand Theft Auto really, fucked over us for, the last 15 years in gaming. And now, Grand Theft Auto is pure amazing. And it being an open world is totally great. But you just think about, how many games I feel like are pure pressured into being an open world game when they don't really need to be an open world game.
Well, think of how many series there are that come out, every year or every 2 years that are open world. And think of how many Grand Theft Auto puts out.
Exactly. Grand Theft Auto is smart. Grand Theft Auto 5 is still one of the top-selling games. And how long has that been out for? 4 or 5 years by now?
Yeah, I remember the episode that came in and talked about it, saying, let's wrap this up. I want to play Grand Theft Auto 5.
Yeah, it was one of our early episodes, too.
Yeah.
So, that's pretty amazing, But it is that sort of thing. The downfall of, these other ones is, okay, Grand Theft Auto, it works. It's perfect for open world. That's, how that game is made. The whole point of it's supposed to be a sandbox. But then you get something else where it's does this game really need to be... Metal Gear Solid 5. A game that's always been a story-driven linear game. Mm-hmm. Why would you change that up?
Well, Grand Theft Auto 5 is, for instance, that's something it's there's enough there to always keep you occupied. If you're not doing the main mission, you can do a side mission, or you can just... stumble off into the woods and come across some weird random thing you weren't expecting to come across.
And even just driving around. In a sense, you could just drive around for hours, and that's still fun in itself.
I'm kind of curious about Watch Dogs 2, because I live there now, so I want to see how much of the city is actually accurate.
Yeah, that'd be fun in itself.
And I kind of want to see if I can go by my place. Just I don't think it's going to happen. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure there'll be a slot there. Is it probably going to look exactly like the building? No, there'll probably be a slot there, with just a generic building. But still, I just kind of want to go around, see how much of the city they got right. Because I was watching one of the trailers where it was not even the gameplay, where it was just a pre-rendered cutscene, and I was like, oh wow, I know that corner on Haight Street. I know that spot of Divisadero right there. You know what I mean? There's all these...
they'll get all the main locations pretty much down, and then the rest will be kind of filler.
But I want to just see how much of it they do get down. I don't know if I want to pay $60 for it first. I want to see what video games is one of the few things, maybe not IGN, but I'll listen to a review first.
I'll sometimes do that too, and then I'll end up buying it the same day. That happens a lot.
Well, this guy, he's just a bitch. He doesn't get it. Oh, fuck, he was kind of right.
Well, the thing, too, is Watch Dogs 2 will probably actually be pretty badass, because it'll be probably just the same way Assassin's Creed was. Assassin's Creed 1, not that it's a bad game, but it had sort of its faults. 2, fucking ironed all that stuff out, and it was an amazing game.
Watch Dogs 2, I'm hoping is going to be the same.
Yeah, be the same.
I had no desire to play Watch Dogs 1. It looked like it was just in a dark, gritty world of cyber thriller bullshit going on. And this one just bunch of young people, just we're a bunch of hackers. Let's go fuck some shit up. Okay, cool. Here's this 3D gun I printed. Oh, cool. Let's go to Oakland. We're getting a gang shootout. So it looks like a game looks... I watched probably at least hour and a half of gameplay footage of that game while like working on stuff. And, like, you know, it something about that game just kind of pops out at me. Maybe just because it's one of those dumb things like I recognize it. Maybe if I didn't live there, I wouldn't give a fuck. Mm-hmm. But I can't help but be kind of curious, especially since a Ubisoft is stationed in San Francisco.
Yeah, so they're going to get it down pretty darn well. And
I also just like to go to the park and just beat up some of the fucking park kids.
Just in the digital world, that'd be cool.
No, because, you know...
Oh, no, in fucking real life. I'm doing that, like, this weekend. I'm just going to get a baseball bat out and go fucking beat up some
Just to clarify, so it doesn't sound like this huge classist thing. There's a lot of, for those who don't know, the Golden Gate Park, there's a bunch of homeless people that live there, and some don't even live there. They just kind of hang out there all day and then just go to crash on a friend's couch or whatever. Some of them are pretty cool and just kind of keep to themselves, don't fuck with anybody. They're just hanging out, drinking, smoking pot all day, just hanging out. That's their life choice, whatever. There's some, though, that have this sense of, like, we own this park, bro. This is our home. And like, you know, not all of them, but a lot of them aren't really, mentally challenged or crazy or anything. There are some of those. There are those that are literally just, like, couch surfing 20-somethings. They're just like, you know, I don't feel like working, and just crashing out there. And some of them are cool, but some of them have this sense of entitlement.
Yeah, they're like, yeah, I'm living the hobo lifestyle, not because like I have to, because I choose to.
And just, you know, that's your life, that's your choice. That's fine. But some of them are actually trust fund kids pretending to be poor.
Yeah, so they can go out pretend to be poor, and at the end of the day, they go like let me go back to my hotel room with a Donatello.
Yeah. And then so, you know. What's the harm in digitally mowing a lot of those fuckers down?
Exactly. Why not?
Yeah.
No, nowadays I always feel kind of bad because I always end up buying $60 games, and some of them I feel like I'll put like an hour into it, and that's it. It's like, yep. And I kind of go, for the amount of time that I don't have in life, I always go, so there's some games I just kind of want to play. I know that I'm not really going to be able to experience them near as much, but I just kind of want to get that, you know, play it, see it, try out the things. And then if that's all I get, whatever, that was worth my $60 because that's all I wanted. And I don't mean that in like some weird way like that, but I don't have that. Back in the day, it seemed like I had the thing where it's like, oh, I have to get my money's worth out of this game no matter what. I have to put 60 hours into every game I get so I can feel like it was all worth it.
That's what I would do before, and now not as much.
Now it's like, if I get 5 hours into it.
No, turning it off.
Yeah, it's like, if I get my 5 hours out of it, I got pretty much my money's worth. I'm good enough.
I got a good, I got a good couple of hours. A lot of hours. I never finished I'm in Metal Gear Solid 5. But
you still felt like you got your money's worth out of it?
Yeah, because I still just dicked around a lot. I just heard where the story was going. I heard this doesn't get much more story, and I hear you just got to replay a lot of the same missions, only harder. And it's just like, that seems like some filler bullshit. And I know they pushed Kojima to finish the game quicker. And plus, when the game won, I think, Best Game that year at the Spike Video Game Awards, Konami said, you're not going to go or we're going to sue you. And then the guy presenting the award, like, it should be noted that that Hideo was supposed to be here, but Konami told him not to be. You know?
Yeah, so you get all
the whole audience started to boo.
Yeah, because everybody loves Kojima. No, yeah, that always came a bummer there. But yeah, I feel bad because there's games. I probably have the biggest stack that would like make a 10-year-old child like cry of like how many unplayed games. I have games that are just fucking sealed. I've gotten to that point where like, I remember being as a kid, you'd sometimes go to an adult's house like, oh my god, he's got a fucking N64 game just fucking sealed. You're like, how can that be? And then when you get older, you're like, no, I understand. Yeah, but when I was you get to a point where you have the money to finally buy the games you want, but you don't have that time anymore.
I remember as a kid, there was that thing. It didn't matter what it was, a video game or a movie, whatever.
You fucking cracked that package open in the fucking car ride home.
Yeah, you got a movie, and you got a movie or whatever. You'd be watching that thing the night of.
Yeah.
And if you there's this weird sense that this is gonna take me a minute to actually get there, but it's the same weird feeling. Okay, like there's this time where a friend of mine was getting married. And I was his best man at his wedding. After the wedding, he went off on his honeymoon. I crashed at the in-laws' house, and I was getting dropped off at the airport the next day. And he had and it was weird. I just had this weird feeling of, this is gonna say, where the fuck are you going with this? Had this weird feeling of like, God, this is my best friend's room, but he's not here. I hardly ever see the guy, but he's not here right now. I'm kind of hanging out. You just get this weird feeling like, I should be we should be having fun because I'm in his place, but he's not here. It's kind of the same, as dumb as this fucking sounds, is kind of a stretch, but it's like I got that same feeling. It's kind of like, I got this movie right here, but I'm not watching it. You know, I kind of got that back when I was a kid. Like, it just felt unnatural. Like, why am I watching that? You know what I mean? So.
Well, our buddy Kyle, he as a kid, he would do the thing where he would buy a game and just like I'll get around to it in a couple days. And to me, it was like, what? You bought Final Fantasy Tactics and it's just gonna set their sail for the moment? Yeah. And it was just that kind of thing, like, it was unheard of. Like, I could buy 3 games in one day as a kid. I would play them all 3 of them. I obviously wouldn't beat them all, but I mean, I would play all 3 of them in that night. And same with a movie or anything like that, and you just really look forward to it. Nowadays, I just be like, yes, bought a stack of DVDs here, well, throw them in the piles with the others. I may or may not watch them. I will decide that at a later time.
Yeah, and like, I keep in mind, I realize how weird that allegory was, but you kind of get the...
No, I understand what you mean, because, like, in a sense, what that room represented was, like, a place that, like, you had all these experiences. Like, oh, man, this is the place where we play Star Wars action figures. Oh, and over here, this is where we played Sega Genesis. Oh, and up here, this is where we shoot Nerf guns at. Yeah. So there was all this stuff kind of happening, and all of a sudden it was just like, he's not here anymore. Does this room disappear in time? What does this mean? Like, do I ever come back to this place again? Is this the last time I see this room?
Exactly.
Like, is that time shifting?
Uh-huh.
You know?
And then, like, it's kind of the same weird
thing. Is a Fleetwood Mac song going to start playing in the background? As it slowly pans away from me?
Will it be possibly Cyndi Lauper? Time after time. But is it going to be the thing? I know that one's kind of a weird reach, but it's almost kind of like, that was a lot more of a bigger deal. Let's not mix things up. But as a kid, when you're younger, that was one of those things where it was like, that was like closest thing I had to that feeling of just like, it's right here. We should be having fun with it, but we're not. Why? You know, that was just one of those things like,
why?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, because also as a kid, when you got that game, I think there's something a little bit extra special to it because, like, that weekend that you got that game, whatever, that weekend was literally devoted to that game or those games that you might have picked up.
That's all it was, yeah.
Like, that weekend was all about it. Like, you fucking picked up Street Fighter V on DVD, you're like, guess what? Fucking marathoning this shit, you know? And nowadays you're like, oh, well, if I buy a season set of something, well, that will give me something to watch every single night for the next 3 months.
I was thinking about Street Fighter 2V the other day. And just thinking about, like, because that has that opening. It's like, I think it's like nearly every time Ken and Ryu meet each other for the first time in a while, Ken runs up, throws a kick or a punch at Ryu, and he blocks it. You're like, what's up, bruh? You know, let's go punch a bag and catch up, you know? We all have those friends where it's just kind of like you're best friends and you can't meet up years later, you have nothing in common anymore. I'm kind of waiting for that to happen with Ken and Ryu. Like, he goes through the punch, he cowers, like, whoa, like, oh, dude, I'm sorry, I thought, you know, like old times.
He's like, no, I stopped doing martial arts. I realized at age 16 that it was a real dangerous thing, and I decided I was just going to work as a donut maker for the rest of my life, Ken. That's it!
Just work in the donut shop. He's like, oh,
so you make rice bowls? No, donuts. Not one of those weird. I'm not trying to sell to Americans now.
Yeah, no, actual donuts. Why don't you come out by? He takes him over to his donut shop, and he's like, so you own this place? No, I kind of sleep in the back.
Actually, yeah, I don't know, it's a Krispy Kreme donut place, but they just want to rebrand it for Japan.
He's like, see, now this one I call the triple decker. It's what you do is you take one donut, you put another one on there. No, so it's like a sandwich. So this is what I do all day.
Ryu, you like the manager of the place? No, not the manager. Supervisor? No, not supervisor either. So you work like the front counter? Not when anyone's around. Actually, yeah, they just hired me to clean up the toilets and stuff and mop the floors, and they said I could live here if I do that. And
they pay me in donuts.
I actually haven't made a single dime off this place, but I really do love the donuts.
So they let me borrow their computer, and it turns out they have a video editing software on there, and I started my own like React channel.
You know,
for YouTube.
I make donuts and then I react to them.
Yeah,
and I started making donut claymation too.
I said all donuts.
It's like all I have is donuts. They don't pay me money, Ken.
Well, do you
Ryu, I could just give you money. You do not have to fucking work.
Oh,
I am Ken Masters. No, I gotta do it for
content.
myself, Ken.
I'm content, Ken. What? I'm sorry I could be born with a silver spoon in my mouth. Like, why? You never cared about money before. Like, oh, well, we can't all just, like fucking, like bench press a whole fucking car and then, like, destroy
you used to be able to bench press a car.
I got my triple-decker donut.
Fuck you, Ken. I don't want you to have my triple-decker donut. I want you to leave and never come back to Japan.
I came here to visit just you, dude. We got a whole weekend planned. I was gonna say we go jog along the waterfall in the jungle. Like, no!
Jogging? You know how dangerous that is on your knees? I saw it on a Dr. Oz special.
I have that kind of time. Did you know Dr. Oz streams online now? I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's great. The Donut Factory has really taught me a lot of new things. Dr. Oz also told me that martial arts is bad.
It can hurt your fists. It could really cause forms of carpal tunnel if you punch a bag too many times. Imagine what doing it to a face. Oh, I'm so glad it got out when I did. Just giving Sagat that scar. I could only imagine the mental scars I gave him too.
Yeah, I probably got carpal tunnel all in my foot from that.
Ken's just like, I can't believe this is my old best friend. Like,
he's like,
Sagat goes to, like, Ryu, like, oh, hey, Sagat! Like, what the fuck?
Sagat, are you the manager of this place? Yeah, I came here so I could bitch this guy back into work for causing me this goddamn scar.
Like, his thing is just to defeat Ryu. That's what he wants. Even that just means that his job.
And Ken's like, well, whatever happened to Sakura? Oh, well, she works here too. She said she'd do anything that I do, so now she just eats donuts and sits on her ass all day.
Am I doing it right, master? She comes in with like a fucking peg leg.
She's like, the diabetes. Diabetes!
Oh, you're doing it right. Don't worry. Just work from the triple decker. That one's cream filled.
Remember to rub the cream on your face. It makes it extra special.
Slowly. This would be great for the React channel. Yeah.
Yeah. We're going to film, Ken, later tonight we're going to film Sakura eating donuts. Apparently that gets a lot of views. I think this is what's going to get me out of the Donut Factory. Not saying I don't like the Donut Factory, but I'm looking at a broader scope here.
Yeah.
Got fat girl donut fetishes.
There's only so much you can post on YouTube. I'm thinking what we can do is we build it up with YouTube, then we go to Pornhub afterwards.
Yeah, Sagat, he's got a little bit of stock in there from what M. Bison used to own it. To run an evil empire, you got to do... They don't just make it off of just selling, weapons and stuff. There's a lot of porn involved there. I don't know if you know that, Ken, but...
It actually kind of backfired when he invested in Zune. But beyond that, though...
Ken's was like, I know I probably shouldn't ask, but who's the supervisor here? Oh, that's Dan! Yeah, we're all working together now, one big happy family.
Dan's actually the one who's on top of his shit. He comes in just in like a suit.
And a nice tie, a little clean pressed and everything like that.
I just realized martial arts aren't my passion anymore. It's actually business. It all panned out. I kind of gave up revenge on my father's death and actually hired the man who killed him as a way of showing, let bygones be bygones, I'm a bigger man now.
Well, technically he's the bigger man, but yeah, I am. I'm on 360 on the scale, and I don't know how much muscle's left.
Yeah. Turns out that when Shadowloo went under, there wasn't a whole lot, one of the world's most wanted men can do. So, donut shop, here we are.
Everybody likes donuts.
Isn't that right, Ryu? Yeah, everyone likes
donuts. They do. They sure like donuts. And boy, they like to use the restroom afterwards. Yeah, that's enough, Ryu. We don't need to know about what you do here.
You're like... I know, I was just sharing Dr. Oz's on. Oh!
Everybody comes sitting around, fucking like Sakura, like hobbles on over, like, oh my god. Ken's like, no. Ryu, you are coming with me. We are going back to San Francisco, where everything will be right, and you can live in luxury, and you can fucking work that fat off. And Sakura, I'm sorry, I would take you, but it looks like your time is gone. God knows how you got diabetes so fast, but still.
Yeah. It's just one of those things like, look, you always kind of held him back. And, I brought him along because I thought, he could probably use a girlfriend. But no, you're clearly not helping this case.
Yeah, clearly Ryu he didn't know what to do with a woman, nor did you know what to do with a man. It was this weird, awkward thing, and I was just standing there watching.
It's just one of those things. He says, tell you what, we're going to go there. We're going to get into a ballroom brawl with some military guys like old times.
Yeah. Like, Guile's going to be there. He's going to be just as pissed as always at us. Even though we always seem to work together in the long run, he seems to hate us at first.
Mm-hmm.
Probably the same situation. You know, Nash has been somehow, some way mutated into Blanca. God knows how that happened. But we're going to get to the bottom of this. We're going to get back on it. It's Street Fighter, not 2V anymore, but it's just Street Fighter 5 now. Ryu, can you handle that?
Yeah. Well, Dr.
Yeah,
Oz.
okay, I'm loading up my bag of donuts. No, put the fucking bag of donuts down.
Dr. Oz is on. I gotta finish Dr. Oz.
He's like, I like Dr. Oz. You know, they had Trump on there again. You know, I know, I'm not really too into him, but, you know, still.
He has some interesting things to say. I'm not... Oh, my fucking God.
No. What are you doing watching this in Japan?
Oh, what are you doing wearing a red shirt when you don't like Trump?
Yeah, looks like you're wearing his collar now.
Is someone actually secretly a supporter? You know, someone I know is talking about, like, going to a gun club. And I was thinking about... Oh, fucking Christ.
You know, Dan, he's part of a gun club, you know. He says that it's a real good way for us men to get together and prepare if the government's going to take over.
It's like that thing you just occasionally just meet a friend years down the line and they just like, oh, fuck, dude, what happened?
Yeah, well, you know, we're going to get guns and we're going to defend just in case. Actually, you know, the government, if they come after us, we're in Japan, so you got to also be prepared in sword fighting, but I think a gun's a lot easier.
Dude, you got
to work out the sword fight. And remember what Dr. Oz said about that. You don't want to put yourself too hard. You know, I got an elliptical. You know, I ride it for 5 minutes a day. You know, make sure that keeps my cholesterol down. But yeah, other than that though, I want no heavy impact. So a gun is a good way to protect from the government because when they come at you with their katanas, I could just shoot them in the fucking head, Ken.
He's just looking at him, just like, dude, you can Hadouken. Why would you need a gun? And it's just like, I have trouble now. Watch this. It just like goes up, like just like drops out.
Just like some like sugar just shoots out. Like, did you just literally shoot sugar out of your hands? Well, yeah, it looks like I kind of lost my key.
That's all my key now. My whole key.
Now it's just all converted to sugar.
I can do it right one more time. It's like just like pudding.
He's like, what I'm trying to tell Dan is that I can by doing this, I can actually shoot the powdered sugar right onto the donuts, but he looks at it like, you know, I'm shooting cum onto the donuts, and it seems a little weird.
He's called it a health code violation.
Yeah, he says if it's coming out of my body, nobody wants it.
It's coming out of my wrist, but he still calls it, you know, he still has to quit coming on the donuts.
Yeah, you know. I'm sorry. Ryu, okay. No more donut shop. You know what? I'm going to go outside. I'm going to Hadouken the fuck out of this place. So much so.
Not the donut factory!
No, it's for your own good, Ryu. You're fucking going to listen to me now, and we are going to go and train like we goddamn...
It's all I got.
You got me, buddy. You got me, goddammit. What does that mean?
It means no more donuts.
That's right.
I need
no
donuts.
more donuts. You're going to go back to fucking eat sushi and fucking steak like a goddamn man.
Dr. Oz tells me there's mercury in the sushi.
The mercury's good for you. It's what creates the Hadouken power.
Like, cows are fed corn. Corn's bad for us. They just filter through.
When
They're
you're
not
rich,
meant to eat red
they
meat
have only
this
grass
much.
in them. Ryu, they have only grass in them when you're rich. We're not poor. We don't live in the fucking ghetto. We don't live in fucking Oakland. We live in San Francisco, goddammit.
He does live in San Francisco.
Or Ken does.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, he does. Or not really. He probably lives up where like next to George Lucas. He probably is like right next to
Marin
George
County,
Lucas.
more like that.
Yeah, something like
He
that.
might be or the City. I gotta.
Well, because in Street Fighter V, when they come riding on the motorcycle, they technically come down, I think, over the Golden Gate Bridge, meaning that he lives above San Francisco, so he lives up in that section right there with George Lucas somewhere.
They always come in the Golden Gate Bridge. And
No matter what direction you come into you can come in from San Jose and somehow you cross the Golden Gate Bridge.
Yeah.
Makes no logical sense whatsoever.
Every movie, yeah, it would be more likely if you're coming from like Marin County, or maybe even like going like coastal route from like Oregon. But beyond that, it's like, why would you be coming?
There's no like it's the most unrealistic bridge to come into San Francisco. There's like two other bridges you're most likely to take.
I feel I gotta do my history. I may be 100% wrong here. There's just me guessing. I'm guessing that was probably like the first major bridge there. Maybe who knows? Maybe the Oakland Bay Bridge was built first. But I feel like the Golden Gate Bridge was there. Like, it's pretty, but what's more practical? This one over there.
This one. Okay, yeah. The Bay Bridge doesn't look nearly as cool or as iconic, but it's way more practical.
Yeah.
But
They're trying to by throwing like some weird light thing that comes across it overnight now.
oh, that's kind of cool. No, it actually looks pretty neat now when they rebuilt it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's probably a good place to leave off with. So remember, Fat Ryu, stop the donuts.
Yeah, stop them donuts. Don't go to those Trump rallies.
Exactly.
Even if they offer free donuts, don't do it.
Yeah, just because there's free, remember, there's always a price. Yeah. Nothing's ever free. There's no such thing as a free lunch.
Or free donuts.
But then again, sometimes when there's free food, I don't pass it up. Yeah. It just happens that way. It's like when there's free pizza. You know you shouldn't eat a bunch of it, but there's like that inner child in you that's like, remember a time period where you couldn't just fucking go at this
There's
shit?
that mental unspoken agreement. The second you grab a piece of pizza or like some punch, they're gonna shove that pamphlet in your hand, and they got you because you got to finish that pizza. And then by the time you're done eating it, like and trying to back away. Oh, have another piece. We have the time.
Yeah, you get those Christian people who are gonna try to like lure you in with pizza.
Yeah.
But no, I don't know what it is. Like if you buy a pizza yourself, you can be like, yeah, so I only have to eat 2 slices of pizza, and then I'll just save the rest for later. When it's free, it's like it's free. I gotta eat like 5 slices because who knows, this might be gone all of a second. Like I don't know why, primal thing. But whatever. Check out oldmanorange.com. More podcasts, cartoons, music, and more. Till then, I'm Spencer Scott.
I'm Ryan Dunigan.
We'll see you some other time.
Later, folks.
Thanks for listening to the Old Man Orange podcast. Check out our website at oldmanorange.com for even more podcasts, cartoons, videos, music, and more. Send us an email at oldmanorangepodcast@yahoo.com. Be sure to subscribe, share, rate, and review us on iTunes, Podomatic, or any of the other fine sites we might be located on. And if you want to help out even more, click on the Amazon or GameStop links on our webpage before you make any purchases there. Won't cost you a penny, but it sends us a little something our way. Thanks for listening, and tune in next week to Old Man Orange.